you need to stop asking these three questions during your buying conversations or what you might call sales calls. These are questions that we have commonly heard. And Joe, we work with hundreds, if not over the years, we've worked with thousands of people who sell programs and coaching and all this stuff. And I can tell you, like, without a doubt, 80 to 90% of those businesses, of those entrepreneurs, have these questions, or have had, because we made them take them away. Anymore. They have these questions on their sales questionnaire. So whether you want to call it a buying conversation, which is what we prefer, or a sales call, these are the most common questions that we've seen that are absolutely just terrible for you to be asking. They're not doing what you think they're doing for the conversation. They're not leading you towards a sale. They're actually, in the most cases, preventing you from making a sale.
It's the elimination video. So we want you to eliminate these questions, right? We know that we need to automate, delegate, and eliminate. Here's some examples of what you want to eliminate. Jeff?
Yeah, so number one is, why did you book the call? I have heard this said by so many people. It blows my mind. And you're probably sitting at home. If you don't see this as a problem, you're like, okay, but what's the big deal? Here's the big deal. First of all, let's start with why. Why, even though Simon Sinek will say start with why, the reality of this is that if you're in a space of introspection, you can start with why. Like, I'm here to learn. I have the courage to grow. Like, it's fine to ask yourself why. To ask somebody else who you've never met before in your entire life, why, right out the gate, is an extremely invasive question. Yeah. So you have to earn the right, or ETR, earn the right to ask that question. And you haven't earned that right yet. You haven't built rapport. You haven't built any level of trust. You have no relationship going with this person. And you're just like, why'd you book the call? It sounds like an interrogation. Like, I don't care how you work your tone and your body language and you're like, relax. You're like, hey, Joe, so why'd we book the call today? It's like just asking them to do homework or something. You're like putting it all on them. They're being interrogated all of a sudden, instead of having a nice, warm, open, rapport building, easy conversation that has nothing to do with the sale, which is the first thing that you should do in a sales process, is build that rapport. Just shoot the shit, hang out a little bit, have some fun with it. You don't have to go hard right at the beginning of this thing. So please, if you're asking, why did you book the call? You should already know that. They're here to get your coaching, your program. You're the expert in this. They answered a questionnaire. You know why they're here. Don't ask them that.
Yeah.
Anyways, what's the second one, Joe?
The other one is, it kind of dovetails into this. And it's another why-based question that you want to eliminate. Why now?
What?
You have to earn the right to get to the why now. And if you're doing it on your intake form, or if you're doing it like within the first couple of minutes of your conversation, it's too invasive. Why now? Come on. I mean, there's a process. There's literally a roadmap that we talk about, which we call the buying conversation roadmap. And you need to hit what Jeff loves to call checkpoints. And it's so true. You need to hit certain checkpoints before you can earn the right to ask why now. You won't have to ask why now when you do this correctly, because people will feel compelled to tell you, because you've earned the right, because they got to know you, like you, and trust you enough. That's what's going to happen. They'll tell you without you even asking. Eliminate why now. It's obvious when you have the conversation. Third question, Jeff. What do you want to get rid of?
The last one, and then I want to do like a quick mock run through of these questions, like how this would sound with you. Real quick, I'll ask you the questions.
Sure.
So the last one I want you guys to eliminate, and this includes from questionnaires where you're trying to make sure they're a good fit, right? Like I get it. I get that you don't want to waste your time. If you are a small business owner, if you are an entrepreneur, and you are not taking on 10 to 15 sales calls a week, then you have no business creating friction in your sales funnel, in your sales pipeline. If you are asking questions like this, either on the questionnaire, the pre-qualification questionnaire, or during your sales call, you have to eliminate this. And that question is this: are you the one who will be making the decision today?
Let me invite an objection.
Yeah. Are you the decision maker? First of all, decision maker is an inside term that we use in sales. You don't use it externally. It doesn't go to the consumer. So please, if you're saying decision maker, eradicate that from your vocabulary. It's pointless. If you're asking a person if they're there to make the decision, here's what you've just done. You gave them all the ammunition to come to you with a spouse objection or a partner objection. You basically reminded them that they can blame someone else for their lack of power in the situation. You've created yourself a problem. Let's not do that. That doesn't make any sense. You shouldn't have to do that. And if the spouse objection comes up at the end of the sale, you should have the skill set to go through that. That's what we teach at the SOS Dojo. So if you need a system for how to handle objections, that's something we can do.
We'll help.
Asking that question in the beginning, I did it for many years. It doesn't work. And if it doesn't work at least 80% of the time, that means it doesn't work any of the time. Don't rely on it if it works. Yeah, if it works 50%, 30%, like I don't care. That's not reliable. So
let's role play this out, Jeff.
Let's role play this out. I am the salesperson. Joe is my hopeful buyer. And I'm going to ask Joe these questions. And these typically happen like right at the beginning.
Right? This is where people fail. They make the mistake. So go for it, Jeff. And literally, this is how it sounds.
This is your rapport building, guys. Hey, Joe. Hey, man. Thanks a lot for hopping on the call today. So let's just dive right in, man. Just real quick before I ask you any of these other questions. Are you the one that's going to be making the decisions today if this is a good fit?
I mean, it's going to depend on the price.
Okay.
So I might have to talk to my wife about it.
Okay. Interesting. Got it. Just making sure. So I guess, why did you book the call with me today?
Well, you're the coach, right? Like you do this kind of thing, right?
Yep.
Okay. Well, then that's why I booked the call.
Okay, awesome. So I guess why now? Like, we booked the call. Like, why is this important now for you?
Because I've got this problem.
Cool story, bro.
It's just so blatantly obvious and it's horrible. Like, so I don't know about you guys, but even as you were asking me, Jeff, I'm like, I'm literally I can't believe this is happening right now. And if that's what people are thinking while they're speaking with you, and you're so well-meaning, and they're I can't believe this is happening, you're done. It's just the time this is time they're never getting back, and neither are you. And I hate to say it, but you're doing it wrong. So do it right.
Yeah, I'll say this. We've all done that. I've asked those questions, you guys. We are not here to accost you or call you out on this. Listen, part of being an entrepreneur is having courage to accept that something you're doing isn't working. To accept that 50% of the time is not good enough. I mean, it's literally out of Anchorman, right? 60% of the time it works every time. That is not reliable. You can't rely on that. So what we're asking you to do is do yourself a favor. Take these questions out of your questionnaire, out of your sales process. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make them feel good, your buyer. It doesn't make you feel good. And I'm sure all of us can agree that we don't want to be a pushy salesperson. We just want to have buying conversations. We want people who choose to buy, that are excited to start with you, versus somebody who needs to be pushed and pulled and dragged across the starting line to get started with your program. Who wants that? Nobody wants that. So do yourself a favor.
Make life better.
Exactly. Delete all these questions. There are many other better questions out there that you can be asking, questions that we'll be addressing in future videos. So if that sounds interesting to you, be sure to subscribe. You can also subscribe to our podcast, Courage to Grow with Jeff and Joe, where we talk about this type of stuff with other entrepreneurs, and they can mirror our sentiments here and talk to you about how they learn through their failures and mistakes as well. Right. So have that courage. Stay tuned for more stuff. Thanks for watching, you guys. We'll catch you on the next video.